Okay, let's do problem 3, longest substring without repeating characters. The title itself is quite self-explanatory that we have to find the maximum length of substring that does not have any duplicates. So in example 1, we can see that ABC is pretty much the longest substring in this string. So we just return the length of it, which is 3. Right, and so let's find the logic for finding the maximum length. So suppose we have this example. It's slightly different to example 1 because I changed B from A to B. And because it's a common sliding window question, we need to have 2 pointers, L and R, which is left and right. And what we're going to do is we're going to check the character at R and see if it's part of the substring. If it's not, we are going to work out the maximum length and then add that value to our substring. So here we're going to add A here, and the maximum length will be 1. And then we're going to look at B, and the character at R is not part of a substring, so we can add that in and then update our maximum length, which is 2. And then repeat the same thing until B. So by this point we would have ABC, and the maximum length will be 3. Now so we are essentially working our window by window. So we're expanding our window as R progresses. So we are looking at this window, and we can see that there's a duplicate in our window. So in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the value at L until there isn't any duplicates. So here we will remove A, and then we are going to move L pointer. And then now we're looking at this window. There is still a duplicate, so we have to remove the value at L and then move the L pointer. So it's going to be like this. And then now we're looking at this window. All right, so there isn't any duplicates, so we are good to go. So we can add B. And it's time to move R pointer again so that we can expand our window. So the overall format will be, we have a for loop here, and then we iterate through int R equals 0 and all the way to the length of substring, length of the string. And then we have to check, so there must be a while loop here, check if there's a duplicates. In that case, we appended our substring. In that case, we removed the value at L, and then we moved L by 1. And then, so that's basically making a window without any duplicates. And then after we made a proper window, we work out the max length. No, actually that would be we added the value at R to our substring, and then we worked out the max length. Okay, so that's pretty much the method we have. But the real question we have to ask ourselves is, how do we check if there's a duplicates? And then do we actually need the substring? Because all we are interested in is, after we work out this complete window, we just need to work out the distance between this R and L. By the way, the logic to get the maximum length, so suppose we are looking at this window, the length would be, so if we just write down the indices, would be 4 minus 2 plus 1. So it would be simply R minus L plus 1 will work out the length of the window. Right, so the thing is, we do not really need the substring because we are only interested in the distance between R and L. And how do we find the duplicates? Alright, so instead of having substring variable, we are going to have a Boolean array. Now I'm gonna set the size to 128 because there are 128 ASCII characters, and by default it's all set to false, and I'm just gonna call it isPresent. And the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna have 2 pointers in the beginning as usual, and what I'm gonna do is I might as well draw some diagram here, because suppose that's the each of the elements of the Boolean array we have, and then say we have like all the way to 0, and then say that's 97. It's not really 97, it should be 96, but this represents A. Okay, 90A represents B, 99 C, and so on. So what we're going to do is we're going to check if bool is present at the character R is looking at is true or not. If it's not, if it's true, that means we've seen the value. If it's false, that means we haven't seen it. So because it's false, we are going to make the Boolean at C at A to true, and move our pointer by 1. And then we are here also going to check if is present at B is true or not. If it's true, if it's false, we are going to set that to true, meaning that we've seen them. And then we're going to move along and then say we are up to B. So by this point, all of our ABC will be true. And what we need to do is, okay, here we the is present at B is actually true. So that means there's a duplicate in our window. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the value at A to false, and then move our left pointer by 1. So it's going to be, so we're going to make it to false, and then move by 1. Again, we're going to check if B is false or not. It is true, so we have to make that to false. And then again, it's is present at B now is false, so we can take that as a window, and then after that we can just check that to okay, it should be in here. So this window, it does not have any duplicates, and right, so I might as well just write this down a bit. So what we need to do is we basically have to check is present at character at value at R is true or not. If it's true, we have to make the is present at value at L to false, and then move L by 1. So that means when we got to when L got to this point, A and B will be false. So so this while loop breaks, and then that means we have a full like a proper window without any duplicates. And then at this point we can update is present at value at R is equal to true. Okay, so that's pretty much the logic, and as we go along, we don't really need to append any substring, and then it will help us to get the maximum length. Alright, it was an awful explanation, but hopefully makes more sense as we write down the code. So here we do need the Boolean, say is present equals new Boolean, it will be 128. And we do need int max length equals 0, and we do need int L to be 0 left pointer. So the thing is, we are essentially getting the values at L, values at R and stuff, but to do that we have to use .char at methods, so we don't really want to use them over and over again. So why don't we just change that to character array initially? So we can just say character array, say char s equals s dot to char array, like this, and then we can, it's easier for us to get the values. So we are going to have for loop r equals 0, and r is less than char s dot length, and r plus plus, and this while loop will essentially checking if it's seen the value at R. So it would be isPresent at char s at R. If it's present, that means we have a window with duplicates. So in that case, we have to shrink our window to remove the duplicates. So that would be isPresent the value at L would be false, make that to false, and then we increment our left pointer. And then after getting so this while loop helps us to get the window without any duplicates. After getting the window, we can just make the value we are looking at R, which is present char s at R equals true, and then we just need to get max length equals math.max. Will be max length and then r minus l plus 1. So after getting the new window, we are comparing the length of the window with the max length we have, and then you will fully get the max length, and then we just need to return max length. Alright, let's run the test. Let's pause, let's submit. Okay, it's 100%, so I'm happy with the result. The only reason I didn't use hash set, which might be the most obvious option, is because it's slower and it uses extra space.